Welcome back to another edition of OnForm with Unconformed. And this is a league review from a Liverpool fan's perspective. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. I will have a bias pre-warning you, but we're going to be talking about what the league looks like from my perspective as an American Liverpool fan, what I loved about some of these other teams. I try to be, as honest as I possibly can with these evaluations. But it's a really great week of football. It was a split match day, more so than anything. And the last couple teams of that match day are played today. And to start off our own form category, of course, is the number one team in the league, Liverpool FC, my team. And they played great against Bournemouth. Another one of those matches where the first half doesn't look good. It looks like, man, can we get a result out of this? Are we missing Mohamed Salah? Are we missing Trent Alexander-Arnold? And Klopp just finds a way to win every single time. He makes the adjustments at halftime, and then they just take over. Like I was saying in my previous video, they just seem inevitable. It just seems that, okay, we might get lucky these first 45 minutes, but the second 45 minutes is going to be different. And it's just a matter of time before Diogo Jota pops up with a goal, or Darwin Nunez, or Diaz, or one of our attackers pops up with a goal. For me, the man of the match had to be Diogo Jota. He had 1 assist, 2 goals. What more can you ask from him, really? But this was a really good team display. Alexis McAllister was excellent in that first half. I mean, stepping in on everything. Passes were on point. It almost looked Thiago-esque at times when he was on the ball. And that's exactly what Jurgen Klopp will want from Maka, playing in that 6 role. No, is he not an out-and-out destroyer like that? No, but I think he has the intelligence and the technical skill to play that role really well until Stefan Bajcetic comes back in or Thiago comes back in and can play it a little bit better. But I think that's a great pick, honestly, for now. But Konate, for me, was my close second for man of the match. His ball control, his composure, it's so underrated. I think he has been a gem for us in our team this season. I think he's allowed Trent to do what he does, and he's allowed Connor Bradley to come into this team comfortably because he knows he has Konate behind him if he ever gets beat on the ball or anything like that. Konate has been very, very good. He's one of the best young center backs in the world, in my opinion. And his partnership with Virgil van Dijk this season looks like this is the best center back pairing in the league right now, in my opinion, of course, right? So, but as for Connor Bradley, to keep going on that topic, he looks like he could push Trent. He really does. He is a special talent, in my opinion. And it's like the longer these games go on that he plays in, the better and better and better he gets throughout the game. A joy to watch, very fun to watch. He's brave. He's fearless. He goes into tackles like he's supposed to be there, not like he's like a teenager coming into this Liverpool side. And it always comes in late in the game where he starts doing really nice things offensively. He had a chance in that second half that looked like it was traveling. It was going into that net, but it was a good save by the keeper. But I think he's going to save Jurgen Klopp a lot of money. Jurgen Klopp hasn't had to spend a lot of money on wide backs in a long time. And I think Connor Bradley's going to save him a lot of money on that. This crop of Liverpool youngsters are some to keep an eye on. They're exciting, right? The boys over at Hull with Fabio and I got the other kid's name is escaping me, but he plays left back as well. Or he has been playing left back. He's more of a defensive midfielder. But they assisted each other for that goal to get Hull those crucial points. Bradley, Clark, who's Ian Rush's nephew, Owen Beck, right? Who's playing at that left back role as well, who also can play center back. Kwanzaa, this group of young defenders that are coming up in Liverpool are something to keep their eye on. And it's exciting. It's really exciting that you don't have to dip into the transfer market for good quality players that have potential to be world-class, right? That's what every team looks for. But special shout out to Darwin Nunez, having a rough first half and then bouncing back, grabbing 2 goals, bringing his goal and assist record for this season up to 20 for the season. And he looks good. He looks confident. 18, to get those goals and assists over the last handful of full of games. It's doing a lot for his confidence. But I think this Liverpool side are ready to challenge. I think Darwin is the right guy that they need. I think Jota coming in and being very versatile is helping him so much. The way that Gakpo and Jota and Diaz are able to interchange amongst that front three, it gives Darwin a lot of freedom to go wide, to go central, drop deep, come back, and really grow into the game as the game goes on. Where when Salah is on the field, and I mentioned this last week, when Salah is on the field, it's very rigid, right? It's a very rigid and predictable structure and attack. We've been very unpredictable these last couple of weeks since Salah has been gone, because now the teams don't know who's the ball going to every time. I feel like when Salah is on the field, we know where most of that attack is going to be funneled from. It's going to go to Trent. Trent's going to hit a diagonal over to one of the front three players. If it's not directly to Salah, then one of the front three players are going to go down the touchline. If it's Diaz, check back, move it around, go through Mohamed Salah, and hope that something happens. It's been working, but I think this way it's a lot. You can feel the energy is a little bit different now that Mo isn't in this team. And I'm not saying like, sell Mo, but I think he needs to be more flexible, and I think he needs to be okay with moving to different positions and playing in the middle, which he has done a couple times this season. And I think he's done really well there, which I think is going to be the next phase or the next iteration of his game, is moving centrally like all, aging strikers typically do, or aging wingers typically do. But they look really good without him, which makes you think, do we really need him? Do we really need him with the way that Jota is playing and stepping up? And he's world class. I don't care who you are, what you say. Diogo Jota is world class. He's one of those players that can do nothing the entire game, or he can be absent the entire game. Then he pops up with two worldies. And then he pops up with a crucial tap in. Then he pops up with a big header. Diogo Jota is probably our most important player right now. Him and Darwin Nunez are very, very important for us right now, along with Ibrahim Konate. I think those three players, we can't forget Joe Gomez, who I believe he set up that last Darwin goal, moving from the left to the right. He can play every position in the defense. That's a Jurgen Klopp player. I love what I'm seeing from my team. I think they'll continue to go marching on. This next week and a half is going to be really telling. Okay. Our other team in our OnForm category, and it's only going to be 2 this week, is Arsenal. I didn't think Arsenal was going to be able to bounce back, honestly. I thought they were going to stay in the out of form category for a while, but they bounced back. This is a result that Arteta would want from his team. Bouncing back from that Liverpool defeat. They're still in the title race. They need results like this. And to get it against a Crystal Palace team that, yes, they're struggling right now, but they do still have that quality. I know Elise didn't play. For some reason, Edouard did not play as well. And as he was playing wide left. I don't know what's going on with Roy Hodgson. We'll talk about them as well. But to skunk a team that has talent like that, with Mark Gahey, Decore, these are good guys. These are guys that people are looking at to bring into their sides in Europe for big fees, right? But to be able to get that 5-0 win, it's solid. Those are goals that Martinelli crucially needed. He hasn't been having the best season, not like the seasons he's been having in the last couple. But maybe this will spur them on, right? I know I talk a lot of trash about Arsenal, but hopefully this sees them stay in the title race. And also, they still need a striker. I don't care what you say. They still need a striker. But I needed results. And if anything, Arsenal's defense is going to keep them in this title race, okay? So, grab a little bit of water there. Excuse me. For the out of form categories, and I'm getting over a sickness right now, guys. Sorry about that. And I don't like to do any edits, and I don't like to do any cuts. I like to keep it as authentic as I possibly can and get my true thoughts out there in the first take. So bear with me. I want to be as authentic as I can with you guys, as long as you continue to be that way with me. So we can just build like a community of just like realness, right? So anyway, I appreciate you guys. We've gained a lot of new followers over the past week and a half, and I believe over 100 new followers. Thank you guys so much. I promise we're going to start doing watch-alongs soon, so that we can start, talking live with each other, sharing opinions, all of that good stuff. So just be patient with me. I'm in the process of setting that up. I promise they'll probably be coming in February. I'm heading to the Netherlands for a little bit in February, so it'll probably be after that. But we'll get it going, and we'll have all the banter. We'll do match reactions, all that good stuff. So I appreciate everybody for subscribing, tuning in, and let's get going so this video isn't too long. But anyway, out of form, West Ham. Woo! West Ham, they blew this. So this was their game to see out and win, right? And this is why it's so tough to be a top 4 team consistently. They had a really great run of form on Christmas, and you have to feel this is 2 points lost versus 1 point gain. Yes, they got screwed at the end by VAR. Jared Bowen got tackled pretty much, but I can see going either way because Jared Bowen, it did look like he was already on his way down. The other guy wasn't trying to play the ball. Let's keep that fair. But I can see why they would call out like a 50-50. If Jared Bowen wasn't already falling backwards, I think that's a clear foul. I think it still is a foul. I think it still is a penalty regardless, but I can see why the officials didn't call it. I think we're getting to a point where refereeing is getting worse, even though VAR was intended to make it easier. It's tough. It's unfortunate. And I feel like every single week there's a wrong decision when it comes to VAR. But to be fair, Mikel Antonio, he deserves this. He keeps talking trash about us. But anyway, but in all seriousness, they need to start putting together a lot more consistency. I thought that they were going to do it. I thought that they would be a top 4 team at the end of the year. But these are games that you put to bed. I know they got that red card shortly after it was Sheffield. Sorry, after Sheffield got theirs, and you just gotta have discipline there. That's like an experience, man. Like you just gotta have discipline. Don't go flying into tackles. That's not another. If you look at it in isolated events, sure that might be another yellow. So maybe it is a red. So have more discipline. Don't get that first yellow. Don't be reckless and get in that second yellow. It's just stuff that you want to avoid when you're trying to be a top 4 team. So it's tough for West Ham. Seriously, that's going to be a hard one for them to swallow. Sheffield United, Ryan Brewster. It's really sad to see because I really liked Ryan Brewster at one point in the very beginning there. I thought he was going to be the next Robbie Fowler. I mean, I remember there were some times where he would score 4 and 5 goals in youth games, and Jurgen Klopp brought him up, and he had a lot of faith in him in the beginning. But I don't know what happened. He fell out with Klopp. Maybe he didn't want to press. Maybe he felt like he was supposed to be the star. And this is when, obviously Mohamed Salah and Mane and Firmino were all kind of coming into their own there. But it's tough. It's another discipline thing that you're just like, what the heck? And I believe he's the highest paid player on Sheffield. You have to think, with him not scoring goals, with him basically just kind of blowing this result for them as well, you have to think this might be Ryan Brewster's last season with Sheffield United, right? Fantastic bit of business from Liverpool to get the transfer fee that they did. Same thing with Dominic Solanke and Bournemouth. Shout out to Michael Edwards on that one, but I hesitated to put them in the out of form category because I think this is a point gained for them. But just having Ryan come in and just kind of ruin the momentum there, it's very unfortunate for them, right? But a well-needed result for Sheffield today, and you imagine that this could be Brewster's last call in the Premier League for a while, right? Last team in our out-of-form category is Crystal Palace. This is a case of wrong manager, right team, right? And sadly, a lot of this talent are for sure going to go away in the summer. I can see Eze moving. I can see Olise moving. I can see Edouard moving. I can see Guehi moving. Decore was heavily linked with Liverpool. very, very talented young players that probably get into most teams in the Premier League. I mean, if I told you that there was a team with Zaha, Eze, Olise, Edouard, Decore in it, right? Do you think you could get a result on that against that team with that talent? I know Zaha's gone now, but like with that talent that I just laid out for you, you're like, dude, that's an up and coming team. Yeah, you would think. But Roy Hodgson, I think, is the wrong man for the job. I think this team needs to play a more expensive, more modern type of football that suits the players that they have better, right? And to be fair, I feel really bad for Crystal Palace, and I feel really bad for Roy Hodgson. But it's the wrong hire, and I think it's a matter of time for Roy. And I think the time's ticking for him. But who does Crystal Palace go to from here? Maybe put their faith into a young manager that's a little bit more improving. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. But they played hard today, but it wasn't enough, sadly. But Olise to Liverpool, anybody? Margay to Liverpool, anybody? But anyway, sucks for Crystal Palace. Let's hope they bounce back next week. But special shout out to Ivan Toney for banging in an awesome free kick. I know there was like some controversy that I heard about where the free kick should have been taken or something like that. But awesome for him to score in his return. I think he is overpriced, but I think he's a great player. I wouldn't pay no 80, 90, 100 million for him. He's a little bit too old for me. The skill is there, but the age is just a little bit too high. But I think he can go into any team and make a positive impact. So big shout out to Ivan Toney. Hopefully he gets the move that he's angling for this summer, and we can put all the drama and stuff that he's had behind him. So appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in to OnForm. The OnForm teams from this week, part 2, I guess, is Liverpool, Arsenal, out of form, West Ham, Sheffield United, and Crystal Palace. Appreciate you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about some of these takes. Do I have the right teams in the right categories? You let me know. Did I not shout out a player that should have been shout out? Let me know in the comments. Peace.